How you guys doing? So I wasn't lying to you. Live at 6:45. I was having a little bit of trouble with the camera. You can see it's not quite perfect, but we'll get there. So wanted to jump in and show you guys a little bit of what you can do once you have the photos. And yes. All right. So hold on. Let's turn that off for just a second. All right, guys. So, and there goes Pete. All right. Well, for what that's worth. All right. Sorry, guys. We spent the last couple of shows going over what you can do, like how to take better photos, how to edit the photos once you have them. Let's take a little look at what we can do now that you have them, now that you've edited them, now that you have a bunch of selects that you really, really like. I want to show you a couple of ideas. Now, what I wanted to show you guys today was how to do a photo book, because there are a few ways to do a photo book. Now, the other thing I wanted to mention as to Mike, Mike had a fantastic question about video software on the PC or for Windows. So, Mike, I'm going to do a whole episode on video, but I just wanted to kind of jump in. Will, thank you, Will, by the way, for jumping in with a couple of suggestions. There is a video editor that comes with Microsoft Windows, but that's kind of a light option. I did a little research. I wasn't happy with the results. I will get you a good answer. I promise I will get you a good answer. I will give it to you personally, and I will do it on the live segment. And we will kind of do a whole thing on video, because I know that some of you might have some family videos. I know, for example, Carolyn, who tuned in, had some family videos that she wanted to do like a kind of a highlight of. So we can totally do that. You know what? I'll touch on that in one of the other episodes. So awesome there. Welcome. Cool. Nice to have you guys on. If you guys have any questions while I'm going, please, I love questions. Ask me anything. I'm all about questions. So let's have a look at where we go from here. So I wanted to show you guys this. All right, so I am going to share my whole screen. These are the photos that I have chosen. I have Sabrina's picture down here, but I have a few from up here. And, I also have some selects from when I was in Las Vegas. So I might use some of those to kind of show you. But you know what? Let's jump in. There is something I want to kind of show you guys. And that is when I'm going to use Pages to do this layout. I really like Pages. I've been using it for a long, long time. There are people who are like, no, Pages is really, really good. And it does layout super, super well. Now, just to show you guys, that's not the only option. I have also Affinity Publisher, which I am really, really, really into. I really like Affinity Publisher, and I like Affinity Designer, but Affinity Publisher would be better for a book style setup. So I really, really like that. For those of you on PC or on Windows, I wouldn't recommend necessarily Word. I know Pages is supposedly the equivalent of Word. Pages does a little more than Word does visually. So I might recommend something like Microsoft Publisher or another layout program. So this is really about layout, and I'm going to show you something in Pages. So let's go into Pages. Pages is currently this icon, although you may have the older one which looked like an inkwell. And I'm going to go New Document. And what you'll notice here, and let's close Photos just so it's not confusing. Here we go. All right. So Pages is going to ask me to choose a template. Well, I'm going to be doing a photo book, and I'd really like a photo book landscape. And I'm going to go blank. I want to start from nothing. I really do want to have just a straight up blank book. And you'll notice that it is set up like a book. And I'm going to go, just so this makes more sense. Okay, so layouts. Good, perfect. So I'm going to delete blank book. I don't want blank book there. And you'll notice, by the way, that there is an option here to convert to word processing or convert to layout. You want to be in layout mode. It works so much better. And Pages, let's be honest, it's an Apple software, and it really, really nicely goes in and allows me to jump into my photos. So I can go straight for my, I don't want the shared albums. Let me just close up the shared albums for the moment. And I can go to live demo, and I can pull my photos in directly. So you know what? Let me start by taking this shot that I did along the canal, right? I'm going to bring that in. And you'll notice that it's got these little boxes. Pardon. I might have another one of those in there. I have these little boxes, and that allows me to make it bigger or smaller. Now, you notice that Pages does not let you distort the image. You can if you hold Shift. If you hold, well, if I hold Option, I can, but it will not let you distort the image. This is really, really nice. I do want it to go the full size of my page. So if I zoom out a bit, you'll see that it takes up. Oh, and it's not fully taking up, and the guides are there, so that's great. It's not fully taking up the whole of my page, so I want it to really take up the whole of my page. You know what? Maybe not the whole of my page. Maybe I want a little space at the bottom for some writing. So you know what? Let's do that, right? And that's a simple first page. And then I can come down here. I don't want the text. I can do without the text. And you know what? No, I'm going to go. I'm going to make this fill the whole page. I'm just going to bring it up all the way. Now, do you see how these guides are making sure that I'm centered and whatnot? This really allows me to keep my composition, or even to play with my composition just a little bit. So that is really nice. Guys, thanks for tuning in. I see there's 4 of you on here. And please, you don't have to be on topic with your questions. If you have any questions, shoot them off. I love questions. I'm going to go to this page, and you'll see I've got, when I go to this page, it goes, hey, I've got masters, and I can go, hey, I want a background on this. So let me choose like a gradient fill, and that's going to be a little strong, right? So I can make that a lot lighter. I can go, actually, I'm going to go really, really light, like super white here, and just a hint of like a blue-gray. Just a hint of a blue-gray. I don't need it to be too crazy, right? Now, for those of you who are like, hey, wait, how are you doing all this? If you guys want, like, I'm actually putting together a class on how to do this. So if you guys are interested in this, I'd love to show you guys more, whether it's Pages or Affinity or what have you. But then I can come back to my media. Again, I can just grab a couple of images that I like from my, and I'm going to close my shared content. I'm going to go straight to my live demo. I'm going to drag in the flowers that we turned purple, right? I'm going to drag in the cat near the fireplace. That's kind of cool, right? And I'm going to drag in the plant where we took the plug out, right? And I'm going to do that sunset that I really like. So that's 4 images to a page. Now, that may be too many images, but let's see how this plays out. So I could put that down here. I can move this guy above it. You know what? I'm not really digging the table legs in that. I really just kind of want to focus a little more. Pages lets you do this cool thing where if you double click, you'll see that it changes my white boxes around the corners to black, and that allows me to crop my image directly in Pages. I don't have to go out and do it somewhere else. And I'm going to keep a little bit of the wall so I have that negative space. Now I can say done, and now I have that planter like that, right, with the blue books. And I can do the same thing kind of here with the panther. I could say, you know what, I really want to kind of trim this in, and I don't need the outside door. I really just kind of want to have that right, almost right up to the panther, really. And that's just because that's how I want it. That's how I want to roll today, right? So all of a sudden I've got that, and I can put that there, and then I can have this guy. And again, this guy is kind of coming off the page a bit, so I'm going to pull the same trick. I'm going to make sure that the spacing is kind of even. I'm going to double tap the image, so I'm clicking twice very quickly, and I can bring that in. And you know what? I'm going to match that up with my panther here, and I can even kind of zoom in just a little bit to kind of bring it a little closer to fill the frame. In fact, because I'm doing that, it even gives me a little play that I can kind of move it off to the side just a little bit, and voila. Now when we zoom in, you'll notice we have this beautiful page layout. And we can do all sorts of neat things like adding shadows, or so I could put a drop shadow here so that it looks like it's kind of hanging above, and I can, you know, put it a little further off the page, blur it a little more or a little less. But I'm not going to put shadows for now. I'm going to keep it like that. And you know, this gradient is really not doing it for me. Let's go with more of a green. So I'm just going to go over here and select my green. And maybe I want like a darker type green. So this is just kind of neat to know. There is one other thing that we kind of look at when we're doing page layout like this, and that is if I zoom out like a long way, or if I squint, but you guys can't squint, so you guys are going to see this really small. You'll notice that these images are kind of around the same density. They're not, you know what? So this guy is a little bit darker. You know what? I have some tools in here where I can bring the exposure up a bit to kind of make him just a little bit lighter. And I could even bring these down just a smidge to kind of meet up with, just a smidge. Right, just to meet up with that they're all kind of a little bit more visually cohesive when we come back in. I mean, I'm not making huge changes, but enough that it kind of looks nice when we get it together like that. And you know what? I'll grab all four and just move them down a bit. There we go. And that's nice and centered. And I will move my panther out just a little bit because it seems like he's not meeting up there. I can stretch this out. Just there we go. Just a hair. And now we have a happy little layout. And you know what? This I think deserves a title. What do you guys think? Do you guys think it deserves a title? You have some cool options up here like shapes, and I can. Well, that's just ugly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill that with white. Right. I'm going to go over here to the colors. I'm going to make it a little bit transparent, not too much, a little bit transparent. Bring that out a bit. And double tap in there and go photos from recent photos. And that's not exactly a label that I am, you know, overjoyed with. That's okay. I'm going to select this, and I'm going to choose to use the title that's a little large. So let's bring it down. Let's bring it to the left a little bit, right? And I can even kind of go, hey, you know, that's a little stiff. That's oh, there we go. That's something. It's not perfect, but it'll do. And you know, we can fiddle with this and see how we want it and get it all nice, and there we go. And there's Ike. Ike was running around my legs. That's okay. So, you know, this is not for me to show off. Honestly, it's I the idea that, you know, it looks a lot more complicated. You know, it seems a lot more complicated than it is when you get into it, and it's just a matter of, like, I know the tools well, right? But the idea behind a photo book, I'm sure some of you at some point have put together a photo album or have maybe tried scrapbooking at some point, or maybe you just want to, let out your creative side. And that's awesome. Man, that's awesome. You have no idea how much I support this and how much technology can really, really kind of give us that creative edge. So you guys kind of how easy this could be to kind of just run out a layout like that in what? About 10 minutes, right? We didn't spend that long on it. And I'd like to know more about what you guys think in terms of, you could make your own calendar. You could have photos in the days. You could have all kinds of stuff. The same idea applies to Christmas cards or birthday cards, or make your own anything. And if you want to get nice and fancy, you can get nice fancy paper and do some really fantastic stuff. And just super simple. And you know what? I'm going to show you a couple of other ideas in terms of getting creative with your technology. But I mean, how cool is that you could make that, spend a little time, and then the beauty of this, and I'm going to show you one last thing here. When I'm ready to go and show this, or to go and get this really kind of made up properly, I can export to PDF. Now, PDF stands for Portable Document Format, and it's a really important format because it includes all of the fonts and all of the fonts, all of the images are included in the document. So you take that to your local print shop, and they love PDFs. Like you say, hey man, can you print me a book and bind it for me? And suddenly all those photos that you've been collecting on your phone, that have just been collecting and collecting and collecting and collecting, you know what? You can make that into a beautiful album. You could do gifts with it. You can kind of put that together and make a nice photo, make a nice photo cover, good use of negative space, and just have a nice title on it. And really, hey, here, share with the family, share with friends, share, the best night of drinking ever. Whatever photos you have, you can kind of put them together like this and really go that next step. Or just make a card that's something really, really special for the people who are special to you. So more and more, I want to kind of show you guys that, and I hope to show you that technology shouldn't be intimidating. This should be something that plays to stuff that moves you, that really kind of gets into your life and you have fun with. All right. So I'm not noticing any questions, although I do notice that there are 5 of you. So it's not like last night where it's like I'm not getting nothing going. So I do see that there are some of you watching. I'm going to turn this off for just a second. There we go. Right. So guys, live at 6:45. I'm going to go live tomorrow at 6:45. I have a couple of small things that I kind of want to show you. Something really simple and really, really neat that you can do. And I want to kind of open this up to you, that the computer can be so much more than just like, oh my God. No, not if it's part of what you love and what you do. Why not just use a service? Now see, I was hoping somebody would chime in with this. Why not just use a service like Shutterfly? You know what? If you're more comfortable with it, by all means, you can use. There are apps to do these photo books, and that's great. The catch to a lot of these services, like Shutterfly, like the online album makers, and they are good. I'm not saying anything against them, but they are going to have their pre-established templates, and they are going to have their workflow, and you won't necessarily be able to do everything you want to do the way you want to do it. Whereas the reason I used Pages today, or recommend Publisher or Affinity Design, I mean, look, Affinity Publisher it's a pro level software. I mean, the learning curve is steep. It's a steep ride, great toboggan ride, but it's a steep ride. These services like Shutterfly could simplify your life. And yes, there's something really special, really, really special about having complete control, making it exactly the way you want it, either emailing it or bringing it on a USB key or what have you to a good copy shop, and having them have it ready usually within a couple of days, as opposed to ordering something that you just you know, that you had to use their template and get frustrated with their interface, and then you order it and it'll get there when it gets there. And maybe some of them offer 2-day delivery. That'd be really cool. But and not being a complete control freak, but I do like a certain level of control with this, especially when I go, hey, I really want to focus on this, or I really want to bring this out. So that is a fantastic question. Why not just use services like Shutterfly? And also if you want to just print your photos, I mean, yeah, sure, there's Costco, there's Jean Coutu, there's all of them. But there's something really special about, you know, going and getting a really nice, you know, doing it yourself and really getting it just the way you want it. You know, I don't know about you, but that's for me. I really like that. But you know what? I don't want to dump on any of those services. They're great services. They're there for a reason. They have a good following. They must be doing something right. They're still in business. So if you feel more comfortable with that, by all means, yeah, do it. I mean, heck, use the editing techniques we showed yesterday, right? And get your photos just the way you want them and get just right. And sure, absolutely. I totally support that. Absolutely. Again, this is about you and what you are capable of, and what you, I believe in all of you. I know my belief in your success is greater than your doubt. I promise you that. And I think that you can do some fantastic stuff and play. And, you know, we could even talk about making your own kind of video slideshow, or, you know, and adding exactly the right music, and even voiceover. You can narrate it and really almost make your own kind of little you know, family documentary and things like that. We can show all of that, guys. You know, comment, tell me what you want. You tell me. I mean, I've got like a million different places I can go. I'm like one of these software engineers. I've got like a million options, and I can go off in these crazy directions. But if you tell me what you want to see, that allows me to kind of focus in and go, hey, yeah, let's go down this path. That's really that's one of the reasons I'm going live, because I want to see what you guys want. I want to see what's valuable to you. So, all right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. I mean, really, I love it. I hope you guys feel that this content is getting better and better. I'm trying to be a little more concrete with the examples and show you some neat stuff, and show you what's possible, and maybe kind of what you might want to try or might want to learn. And like I said like I said before, you know, comment me to what, or, you know, hit me by email. Actually, you know what? Let me pop up the email like usual. I'm gonna put that up. There you go. If you guys want to know more about how to do this stuff, or you know, what's possible, please let me know. It lets me know to, you know, where I should focus for you guys, because I'm really about helping you guys. All right. Thanks so much for tuning in. I can't wait to see you guys tomorrow at 6:45. Now we're at 6:45, so we're live at 6:45. Can't wait to see you guys at 6:45, and have a great evening. See you tomorrow. Good night.